And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the final week, the final round of WTL World Team League 2024 Summer Code S? KungFu Cup Round 11. Oh my god, I'm of course your host ZvP, and with me I'm joined by these amazing players, the people in the chat, and we have our lobby. We have our first series of the broadcast. It's going to be a banger of a ZvP. Also, I'll turn on my cam. Just fixing things up. But sporting in the bottom left-hand corner of Alcione, we have the Italian Zerg player, the red Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself, representing Gen G Esports. It is Trap. And if you're in the chat, predictions, Bappy. I'll get them going soon. Sorry, I'm just opening up the script to get those predictions going. We'll get there. Bam. There we go. Predictions in the chat are open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. It's going to be a best of 3, a banger of a first round match. After this series, we'll have a look at the bracket itself. We'll try to get a feel for where exactly we are and where we are headed. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. I'm sure it's going to be beautiful. The bracket, as always, is stacked. It's stacked, Papi. Oh my god. We're here in the round of 32, I believe. Yeah, we're in the round of 32 here in the early rounds of the event, and we'll see how this turns out. For those that are curious, Reynor, of course, he has returned. He's returned to the land of Europa. He's no longer in Korea, so because of that, there's going to be a bit of a ping disparity between our two players. That is something to bear in mind, is something to factor in. Likewise, Trap has been on fire. Trap has been improving a lot here over the past couple of weeks. I would traditionally say that Reynor's favorite. I would still actually say Reynor's favorite, but Trap has been impressing us time and time again, and I'm ready to be impressed for another time. Once more, let's go. For now, we're settling in. Is going to be a standard opener out of Trap, likewise standard opener out of Reynor. Also, of course, welcome everyone to the Stargate Stormcraft tournament. True. I did see that Stormgate did go live this morning. I think it went live this morning. It went live while I was asleep. While I was sleeping, did go live, and oh my god, as it looks like we do have a bit of a pause. Hopefully everything is okay. Thankfully, nothing major is going on. No major engagement, no major kind of fight. So, thankfully, if there is some ping issues or some kind of tech issues, nothing's really being affected. Thankfully. Hold on, I got you. Bam. There we go. We're back. But yeah, Stormgate did drop this morning. I did stream this morning, but I streamed StarCraft. I was trying to play some Stormgate, but alas, unfortunately, I could not. And yeah, hopefully we can play some Stormgate at some point. Fingers crossed. Hopefully we can play it eventually. I was tuning into some streams to watch it. But now that we are going to be settling in, do have our pylon block here at the natural. We'll be pylon blocking, delaying the expansion. And just being a bit of a nuisance here to Reynor as he is settling into his opener. Again, just starting up hatch gas pool, sends his stuff out of Reynor. He has not been tempted to take the goal base or rushing to it early on, as we have seen in previous times, in previous weeks. So now we're easing our way into a more standard early to mid game here. Going to be a Stargate open out of Trap. I imagine going for an Oracle. There it is. Oracle's on the way. Likewise, it's going to be on Reynor to maintain control of his bases to defend against the Oracle. We have 2 queens here at the natural. Likewise, soon to be 2 queens in the main. So we should be all good as long as we're able to keep up with the rotations and the movements. We should be able to minimize losses and get into the mid game. Really, it's in the mid-game where I'm going to be paying attention to both Reynor and Trap to see if they do deviate. I know Trap has been very fond of the Glaive Adept follow-up from this. It's been very popular, very trendy as of late. Trap has been embracing it like many of the other Korean Protosses. I mean, I say Korean Protosses, Protosses in general. So we'll see if Trap does bring that to the table here in Game 1. As a reminder, it's a best of 3 series, so plenty more games ahead of us. And always mix it up in Game 2 or Game 3. As Oracle gets across the map, checks the triangular third. Queen is in position, and yeah, so far we don't get a drone. There we go. 1 drone goes down. We barely get a second drone, but that's a lot of whole damage dealt to Trap. A lot of damage already. does escape. Second Oracle's on the way. Third base has been thrown down, and my eye is on the tech to see what we head into from here. Do we go Blink +1, Glaives, Charge, or even another Stargate? Another Storm. Aye. Well, sorry if I opened the predictions twice. Just making sure it got open. But now, double Oracle hits the natural Queen's Room position, and ooh, once again, nice target firing at a Reynor. Almost does get that Oracle kill. Does fend it off. Back at home, we have a Forge, we have a Twilight Council. Looks like a standard follow-up here out of Trap. Working towards +1 and Blink. Looks like we're easing our way into the mid-game. We do love to see it. Of course, we're going to be active with our units, both our Oracles and our Adepts. Our goal here is to get some economic damage to slow Reynor down to try and stem the tide of Zerg. And we'll see if we can. Two Oracles hit that natural, getting another 2 drone kills. Ooh, and we will be able to escape. Thankfully for Trap, only 1 Queen was in position, so we're able to get away with most of our HP. Likewise, Reynor going for a safety Roach Warren. In case it was Glaive Adepts, we would have this Roach Warren done in time to defend. As we can see, it is not the case. But again, Reynor playing it safe. Does play it safe. Roach Warren is done. Just because we have the Roach Warren doesn't mean we're going to use it. Again, if there's no need to, if there's no early game pressure, we can just get into Hydra production instead, or even Muta play, which is not unheard of on Alkione. Oracles hit the third, rotating in between. +1 range on the way. Okay, so I'm leaning more towards Roaches now. You would often go into melee if it was to be Ling Bane Hydra. So range is a sign of things to come. Keep an eye on Reynor. See if he does it. There we go. Does embrace the Roach. There we go. Roach speed is on the way. So initially, it is going to be Roach Ravager out of Reynor. Oracles get away. They get eyes on the expansion. And so far, we've had a pretty nice defense. So far, only 6 drones have died. I mean, that sounds like quite a bit. But over the course of this game, it's really not too much at all. It's acceptable losses. Likewise, we shut down the Adepts. They did not make it into the middle line. Very nice Evo block out of Reynor. He does defend. He does maintain his economy. Behind this, we have a massive gateway explosion. Gases have not been taken. Oh my god, Trap, calm down. We're getting into what looks to be 7 gates all up, but we're going to be doubling down. We're going to be committing here. There's no reason to commit into this many gateways this early on, unless we mean to make use of them. So Trap is moving out on 3 bases. Again, no gases have been taken, which means no further tech, no Bay, no Storm, for example, no Archon production. It's just purely going to be Blink Stalkers to reinforce, and we're moving everything out across the map. And did I say 7 gates? It's going to be 9. It's going to be a 9-gate 3-base all-in. Trap is going for all or nothing. It's all or nothing for Trap. Bile's going to be shutting down those shield batteries, sorry, those force fields. So far, the Blinks are good. The Biles do connect with the Immortal. They trigger the shields. But we hold our own. Lings are going down Roaches as well. And Reynor hasn't been caught out. Bleeding out a lot of Roaches already. Trying to get on top of the main army. Roaches pushing forward, but we're bleeding out Roaches here. These are expensive losses for Reynor. As Roaches are going down. And we're pushing up the rim, gaining ground here, getting on top of the Queens. We have some clutch transfuses. That one Immortal in the back line should be saved by the Prism. Oh my god. Juggling is on point. Army's being forced back. The Observer is sniped, but it did its job. The creep has been cleaned up, and we're still reinforcing from across the map. Again, that's 9 gates, Pappy. Again, Trap, it's all or nothing. It's a unique variation of 3-base all-in. I haven't quite seen one before with an Immortal in the mix. Just the one Immortal is adding quite a pack. Oh, it's packing quite a punch to the all-in. But as time goes on, the better it is for Reynor. Time is on his side. Stalkers, we haven't been able to retain most of them. Bile's going to be thrown down. The Immortal is going to be going down. One more shot, the Immortal falls. And without the Immortal, without the Prism as well. It looks like we force that Trap back. Very nice Biles. Very nicely done here at a Reynor. He shuts down the Immortal, shuts down the War Prism. No more reinforcements. Trap is backing off, and Trap has nothing else behind this. Now he takes his gases. But it's too late. It's too little too late. Trap, he's now throwing down a Bay. He's getting ready for the next step. But Reynor has survived, and Reynor now can take a lead. He can now drone up freely. Hive is on the way. Hydroden's on the way. We're getting ready for Hydra Lurker Viper, and Reynor can finally breathe. And again, that was a really unique form of all-in out of trap, just because I'm used to seeing, for example, no robo, you go for a gateway here in the center of the map, you reinforce with purely blink stalkers. This was done a little bit differently. What I will say is that because of the +1 upgrade, we don't have the worst transition into a later game. We have +2 on the way. I mean, we have a lot of tech being thrown down as we speak. We're still stuck with +1 stalkers. But again, the transition doesn't feel too off-putting here like it usually is. As usually you would just skip the forge. As Zepstay hits at the natural base, getting 2 drone kills. Reynor does defend. And now Reynor has so much freedom to take into lurkers like this. Usually you'd be under fire, usually you'd be under threat, but the problem is that because Trap was so tunnel vision, because, I mean, he was all in, these Colossus, the Storm, the splash damage, it's all heavily delayed. By the time this all finishes for Trap, Reynor will have Hive Tech and will have lurkers. So I do favor Reynor in this position, taking a 5th base, going for the gold. Lurker Den is done, is confirmed by the oracles. Trap knows, and now Trap has to make a choice. I mean, it's in a way too late now. I was going to say that we could try to take up into Sky Toss, and we could try to rush towards carriers and be more defensive, but we've already invested so heavily into all this tech that we have to make use of it. You know, we have to commit to Immortals, Colossus, Charge, and Turtle Up. We are going to be settling in. Trap is moving out with his first Colossus. Bold move. Bearing in mind, Extent Double Lance is not done, but I believe there are no Vipers. Yeah, 0 Vipers for Reynor, which means this move out has potential. We're going for the base. Ooh, the rocks will buy some time. We do get the hatchery. Hatchery is going to go down, and can we punish this? Not too much. Colossus takes a lot of hits. Takes a lot of damage, but will escape. Will get away. Yeah, the Lings are thrown away at the same time. Zelarambai does get into the mineral line. Very nicely done here on the Trap. Does pull apart the attention of Reynor. Snipes a base. Snipes a, or gets into a mineral line. At the same time, though, Roaches, they do tunnel across the map. They get into the mineral lines. And Chaos is ensuing across the map. Warp it into the main. More Zealots at the same time. We have Roaches in the main, in the natural as well. Now, Reynor is holding on against the main army. There is no detection. Oh, yeah, there's no detection here. So as long as the Lurkers are in position, we cannot gain any ground. And Roaches, they're across the map in the 4th as well. 23 probes are going down. Reynor, he is pulling a Trap apart. The Trap already had a rough road to recovery already, and now his economy is crippled. He's down to 37 workers. There's 1 base has been left untouched, but only the 1 base. Every other is under fire. And now Trap, he races back home. Again, he had no detection. He could not break this position. He could not gain any ground. The power of the Lunker, Papi. He didn't save the 5th base, but saved the 4th. And that's all we did need. And now Reynor's maxing out. He is about to max out. Do appreciate these steam vents. But Stalker is going to fall. We just spot the main army. Trap, he was all in before. Now we have a second all in, but this one is going to be a little bit weaker compared to the first. Checking the units tab here, there are observers, thankfully. Do you have observers moving out? They're going to be with the main army. Extend Double Lance is done. But Reynor, he is ready for this. Big spine jumps going on, pushing into lurkers. Never an easy thing to do. Oof. As Trap loses so much in the process. And so yeah, with that Trap, he barely has an army standing. Roach is still harassing across the map. Cannons have been thrown down. You see Trap trying to rotate over towards the gold. This time the rocks have been dealt with. This time we can keep up with the rotation. The only thing that Reynor's really missing here is Vipers. Vipers would make it so much easier to abduct and to shut down these high-tech units like Colossus and Archons, Immortals, Disruptors. But despite that, I mean, we're still fine. Like, it's okay. Vipers would be ideal, but we're not really desperate for Vipers at the moment as Reynor's moving out. This Oracle counterattack is going to get a lot of damage done. At the same time, Roaches, they get so many probe kills across the map, and here we go. Now it's time for Reynor to move out. Now pushing into Disruptors, likewise not an easy thing to do, so we have to be very wary here. Novus are prepared. Gonna soon be going up here on the main army. See how well we can split. Up! Third Disruptors on the way. Lings making their way towards that natural. Overcharge is popped. Novus will graze the army. And we do pick up a good amount of lurkers. Not bad. That's about 2-3 lurkers going down. So Trap having a very delicate fight here. Does trade nicely. Does trade well. forcing Reynor to pull back. Meanwhile, Trap still recovering economically. And Reynor has yet to really invest into those Vipers. We have a Spire on the way. And again, we're just going to try to brute force our way up the ramp. It's not going to be a pretty sight, especially not against these Disruptors. We do catch one of them. Up, the Novas! Not the best connections. We get a Nova on a Lurker. We take down some of the Ravagers. And yeah, we're just going for a base trade. It's the only way. We're going for a base trade. We're laying siege upon the third base in the natural. At the same time, Trap moving out across the map. Takes out the gold for a second time. And he's going for the third. Yeah, bases will fall. We get the gold. We get the third base as well. At the same time, Reynor going for the kill, depowering the Robo, shutting down the Disruptors. And we have reinforcements back at home. And that's all we do need for Reynor. Doesn't need a pullback. Reinforcements will be enough. Sure, he may have lost 2 hatcheries, but he still has a base up and running. And that's more than I can say here for Trap, as Trap has 6 workers at his fort. That's barely saturation. Again, this base trade was the best chance that Trap had. It was the best of best kind of way to win this game, if at all. It does recall back home. But the spine shots are still going to be brutal. We snipe the Observer. Observer goes down. No more detection. We clean up the Hydras. We clean up the Roach Ravager, but the Lurkers, they maintain themselves. There we go. Backup Observer does come in. We clean up the army, but it costs us so many workers. And now we send the reinforcements to the 4th base. We are pulling Trap apart. Again, Trap's one opportunity was the base trade earlier. Alas, didn't quite work out. I mean, it was a slim chance anyway. We focus on the Nexus. Reynor will pull away. Ooh, oh god. The spine shots. GG gets called, and Reynor will take game number 1. GG. A solid game 1 there from Reynor. Essentially, it all came down to the initial 3-way all-in from Trap, and it had potential, but unfortunately, Trap, he lost the Prism and he lost the Immortal. As soon as that happened, the wind was taken out of the sails of Trap's all-in, and after that failed, Reynor was in a really good position. He was he was on cloud 9, Bob. He was just sailing his way through. As long as he was able to maintain his economy and keep up his tech, then he was perfectly fine from that moment. And the pressure was on Trap. And hey, you know, he went for a base trade. There was like a slim chance that maybe that would work. Unfortunately, plenty of reinforcements, and GG. GG, well played. Reynor takes game number 1, and now we're getting ready for game 2. Let's go. We're getting ready for that second game. And we'll see where this leads us. We'll see where it takes us. We're jumping into game 2 here. I'm hoping for an ace match. I'm hoping for a back and forth. This was a very unique build out of Trap, is what I will say. I don't think we got to really experience the full force of Trap and Reynor, just because Trap committed to an all-in, and you know, that's how it goes sometimes. Is how it goes. You do put everything on the line, and once it fails, like you're in a, it's just really difficult to recover from that position. We'll see if we have more of a standard game out of Trap this time, and more of a back and forth mid game. We'll keep an eye on Trap. As we're loading into one of the smaller maps in the map pool, we're loading into Ghost River. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Ghost River, we have our Italian Zerg player. The red Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Gen G Esports. It is Trap. Here we go. Now, speaking of 3-base all-ins, we've seen quite a lot of them here on Ghost River from both sides, from both Protoss and from Zerg as well. Big reason for it is because of how small this map is. The map is small, the map is tiny here. It does not take long at all to get from one natural all the way to the other across the map. So either player could be aggressive, or we could have a bit of a gentleman's agreement and embrace a longer game. We'll see. Keep an eye on our players here. Trap skirting around the edge. Is going to check the main base, just making sure it's going to be a hatch gas pool. Not uncommon to see, I don't know, like an earlier pool timing, earlier gas timing on this map. Trap just securing himself. And Reynor does go for the unnatural natural. Also, Buenos dias. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I see Slow Run in the chat. Gnome Chomsky, Bobtimus, Baby Wings. Who else is? I saw Ursus earlier. Ursus, someone who I haven't seen in a very long time. Good to see you again. Good to see you. Easy Feel, Iceland. We were discussing Stargate earlier. I'll be honest, I have not seen all of Stargate SG-1. It's one of those shows that was on quite a lot in the early 2000s that I would watch like on a weekly basis, but yeah, just depended on what was on TV, right? In my memory, it was I think Stargate SG-1 and Charmed were on like at around the same time. What else was like from that era? I think that was like pre like Smallville. I think this is like 2003, 2002. Those are the names. One day I'll sit down and I'll watch all of Stargate. All 10 seasons. Aye. Find the time. Sit down. Trap moving out. Charmed. Yo, Charmed? That was it back in the day. Aye. What was around the era of Charmed? That was also like Buffy, right? Like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like Angel, all that. Good times. Do you know what Charmed is? Yo. And in my mind, it's all same era. For now, Stargate Opener once again. Stargate Opener into the Oracle. Let's go. Charmed, I think Buffy. Like, if you're familiar, if you don't know what Charmed is, but if you know what Buffy is, like, think of Buffy, but like instead of like vampire hunter, it's like witches sort of thing. Like similar vibe. As we are going to be entering in our first Oracle, getting across the map, threading the main base. Queens are in position, up! And we should be able to, yeah, fend off the initial Oracle. At the same time, Lings, they get across the map, but our Adepts are ready for them. We have our Adepts here at the third base. Do defend, do deflect. So far, we're keeping up with each other. And here we go. That is a much earlier Twilight Council. This screams one thing and one thing only. Glaive Adepts, Pappy. Let's go. Glaive Adepts here out of trap. I was referring to this build earlier at the beginning of Game 1 about how trendy and how popular this has been amongst Protoss players all around the world. And show us the upgrade. Show us what you got. No Forge, no +1. 2 more gates, 4 gates in total. Give. As Reynor is going for a safety Roach Warren. Let's go. Roach Warren has been thrown down. Regardless of upgrade, it is quite delayed here for trap. There we go. Now starting, but this is pretty late actually. It is Glaives, but this did need to begin a little bit earlier here. This will delay the initial timing. So I'm a little bit concerned. It looks like trap was otherwise preoccupied and otherwise distracted. Overlord is going to be forced back. Adepts a shade into the main. Lings are keeping up, and we shut down the Adepts. We get 1 drone. We get 1, maybe 2. Oh, we're going to get a second worker as well. Boys being pulled away. But again, because of the delay to the upgrade, likewise because of the earlier Roach Warren, Reynor has access to Roaches. Reynor has the tools to defend. He does keep up with the Oracles, but I'm a little bit concerned because Reynor's droning. Reynor's droning, and he's drawn up quite nicely, but we need Roaches. We need Roaches soon. As trap is building up and is soon moving out across the map. There we go. We have an extra warp in of Adepts. It should be, how many in total? 11 Adepts in total. They're spotted. They're confirmed. Lings, they do confirm the Adepts. Roaches have now begun. But it doesn't take long at all to get across the map. And Roaches, they're halfway done, and Adepts, they're already here. And we have fully walled off. Have we? Okay. Doesn't look like it, but we have. Don't question it. The wall is solid. We bring down the front door. The Eva chamber does fall, and now we're headed for the mineral line. We're headed for the bases. We're looking for economic damage. You shade into the main. We do pull away in time. Good reaction out of Reynor. We have backup at Eps headed towards the third base as well. Trying to pull Reynor apart. Observer is targeted. At Eps, they hit the third. Roach is in position. Oh, we shed into natural. Late reaction. No. Late reaction out of Reynor, and so many drones go down. Oh my god, Glaive and Eps, they just melt. They melt drones so quick, so fast. The entire mineral line does fall. That's going to be 16 dead drones. And Trap, this opener, has paid for itself. Trap takes an economic lead. Whew. Oh my god, we're even going for the base. The hatchery under fire. We have a transfuse. Transfuse. No. Reynor, otherwise distracted. No transfuse. The hatchery does go down. We get a mineral line and a base as well. Trap, calm down. Hatchery does fall, and back at home, Trap is getting ready for the counterattack. We have Immortals. We have already 2 Immortals out. 2 Immortals plus Shield Battery overcharge and Shield Batteries, sorry, and Force Fields as well. We're fine. We're perfectly fine. We're perfectly safe and sound. A counterattack should not do much. Reynor is recovering. We have Roach speed on the way. Meanwhile, Trap moving out once again. Ooh, this I was not expecting. Trap looking to move out here. I mean, we have a Bay on the way. We're getting ready for Colossus or Disruptors. I don't think Trap should really commit. Yeah, we're posturing more than anything. Calm down. As a Trap does reinforce with the Prism. Again, this is going to be all before the Bay is really coming into play. So a bit of an earlier move out at a Trap. And we'll see what he can get done with it. It's a risky move. Roaches are amassing. Ravagers on the way. Reynor supply blocked. Oh. Reynor is supply blocked. We shut down the Lings, getting on top of the Queens. Once again, nice force fields. We zone away the Roach Ravager army. Queens are falling. The Immortals doing a lot in the back line. We're running out of force fields. Up. Yeah, we're out of force fields. We can finally break through, but at this point, we've already done so much damage. So many Roaches have fallen. Only 2 Queens left. We have to pull the boys. The Immortals, though, they're being targeted down. 1 Immortal left. 1 Immortal does remain, and once again, it's going to fall as well. The Prism a little bit too far back. Unable to juggle, unable to save them, but it doesn't matter. The Immortals may have fallen, but so has Reynor as we focus on every single Ravager. The Roaches, though, can we hold? Up, it's close. It's still so close. Reynor forcing back the army. Did Trap overextend? Did he lose those Immortals too early on? It cost us 26 drones. 26 workers did go down. We did lose so much of our economy. Even if Trap gets forced back here and now, he's done enough. He's done more than enough. As we have Oracles going ham here at the natural. More drones falling. Of course, no saturation here at the 4th. Nice blinks out of Trap. Does trade very nicely here against the Roaches. And he has done it. GG gets called. He breaks the back of Reynor, and Trap ties up the series 1-1. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Trap does bring us to the ace match. Again, initially it was the Glaive Adepts that did pop off. Unfortunately, Reynor was a little bit too late to respond to the Adepts and to pull away from his natural, if you remember. Reynor had an amazing response in the main where he only lost, I think, 2 or 3 drones, but he was late, and at the natural base we lost so many workers. That was 16 drones going down, and that did leave Reynor vulnerable to the follow-up push. I wasn't too convinced by the push there. I'm referring to the double Immortal sentry move out of Trap. I was like, ooh, is this too premature? Is it wiser to like wait for the Bay to finish and wait for like Disruptors or Colossus or, you know, a greater army? But Trap did catch Reynor droning. I guess, again, because of how many workers went down, Reynor was desperately resaturating his bases. Not just that, had to rebuild the 4th, because the 4th was also killed. So there were a lot of big losses there for Reynor that he had to recover from. That did leave him vulnerable to that eventual Immortal push. It was a close defense, but Trap did break him. And with that, GG. GG, well played. We're going to game 3. Whew. Let's go. Currently binging it myself up to season 6. Oh, that's a lot of seasons. That's a lot of seasons. I recently did binge. I say recently, I guess over the course of like 3 months or something. I binged Next Gen. did binge next gen. For the first time, I watched the original TOS series last year. I think it was last year, like October, November. Basically, whenever I'm like editing VODs or whenever I was editing VODs or like making thumbnails or stuff, I would just have it on like my second monitor. Did watch TOS for the first time last year. But here we go. Now we're getting into the ace match, game 3, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of side Delta, we have our Italian Zerg player, the red Zerg representing Team Basilisk. It is Reynor. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Gen G Esports. It is Trap. The thing with binging some of those really long shows with like 4, 5, 6+ seasons is like, once you're done with one, you gotta take a break. Like, after that, it's like, whew, okay, I need to just, you know, stop for a while. It's a lot to process, man. A lot to process. One day, we'll get around to SG1. It's very intimidating because it's. Is it like the longest? Not the longest. Like it's just a very long series. Very long. Very intimidating. As for now, we are going for a hatch gas pool. Reynor forced to take the unnatural natural, but a standard opener nonetheless. Standard opener out of Reynor. There's also Stargate Universe, Stargate Atlantis, 17 seasons in total, yeah. Oh my god. So it's a lot of seasons. I've never seen, growing up I saw a lot of SG1. I've never seen Universe. I've heard very mixed things about it, definitely. But it's one of those shows that did pass me by. Completely. I've never seen an episode. Same with Enterprise. I don't think I ever saw Enterprise growing up. But now they're settling in. Is going to be our take-up choice, Stargate opener out of Stargate? Oh, coincidence? Let's go. Storm gate opener, Papi. Let's go. As Reynor is going to be expanding, taking his third. Just standard setup here out of Reynor. Everything looking as it should. Meanwhile, across the map, Trap likewise standard opener as well. Moving out with his Adept. And we'll keep an eye on Trap to see if he once again goes for something like Glaive Adepts, or if he goes for something a little bit different. Every game so far, Trap has been dictating the pace of the game. As a reminder, in game 1, it was a 3-base all-in out of Trap. Game 2, it was a Stargate opener into Glaives, into a follow-up 3-base push. I wouldn't say all-in, but into a follow-up 3-base push in game 2. And we'll see what we get here in game 3, as we do get 2 drone kills. It's an okay trade. I believe 2 drones for 1 Adept. Not bad. Likewise, we also scout, and this time Void Ray. Okay, it's a Void Ray opener, not an Oracle. Now, this is interesting. Now, with a Void Ray opener, we hunt down the Overlords. We hunt down the Overlords, we keep Reynor in the dark, and we keep ourselves in the dark as well. Keep our follow-up hidden. And this could be, once again, Glaive Adepts. It could be a Fleet Beacon, could be a Stargate, could be a Tempest Rush, could be a standard game. What do you have for us, Trap? What's it gonna be? As the Void Ray is moving out to hunt down extra Overlords. Reynor likewise. Ooh, does not get into the natural. Clutch wall off there at a Trap. Third base has been thrown down. Third base is on the way. Queens zone that Void Ray back. Back at home, still waiting for our take of choice. We do have a follow-up Oracle on the way. So it's going to be Void Ray to double Oracle initially. Threatening mineral lines, and we have our answer. Okay, it's going to be the Forge, it's going to be the Twilight Council as well. It is going to be a more standard follow-up. I say that we still have potential to embrace something like Charge instead of Blink. We'll see if that Trap goes for the Trifecta. What I'm referring to, game 1 went for Blink, game 2 Glaives, game 3 could be Charge. Ooh, as we get 5 drone kills here, this Oracle popping up. Not bad, punishing the lack of Spore. It's a risk you take here when it comes to skipping Spores, but we do have a Spore. Yeah, we have a Spore at the natural and a Spore in the main, but here at our fresher mining base, we're exposed. And Trap did take advantage. Meanwhile, ooh, that's a bit of a gateway explosion. We're getting up to 6 gates. We'll keep an eye on the gateway count. If you recall, in game 1, we did have a +1 blink all-in from Trap in game 1 as well, which was an interesting maneuver, just because I'm not used to seeing that kind of all-in play where we invest into like an Immortal and +1. So we'll see if Trap does throw down extra gateways, how aggressive he wants to be. For now, 2 drones. Going to be reinforcing with Stalkers. Regardless, we will be moving out. We'll be applying pressure with this upgrade timing. And there it is. Extra gates are on the way. Okay. You have my attention. It's going to be an extra gateway here. We have 6 done. We have 2 more on the way. We're getting up to 8 gates. So 3 base 8 gate play here out of Trap. Now, what's interesting is that this time Trap does not have a robo. There is no robo, which means we cannot reinforce across the map without a proxy pylon. Speaking of, there it is. 3 base all in. Let's go. But again, this 3 base all in is with the Fortune +1, which is an interesting factor here. The pylon, we should be throwing down a gateway alongside it just so we can reinforce on the front lines that much faster. And there it is. Gateway is on the way. That's going to be the 9th gateway for Trap. And it's all or nothing. So once again, Trap is not going for a longer game. Massive wave of reinforcements, and Trap is pushing in. Roaches are amassing, but we don't have that many roaches to work with. Uh-oh. Reynor, he is in a bit of trouble here. Link's trying to collapse in. They're coming from behind, catching reinforcements, but last, Trap does respond in time. Does pull back. Stasis Trap's on the way. Lings will attempt to trigger them, unable to shut them down. But Reynor is buying time. And more Stalkers coming in to reinforce. Spinecrawler does finish. We're bleeding out some roaches, but the Ravagers have morphed in. And the longer this goes on, the better it is for Reynor. But we have the Concave. Lings from behind, Stasis Trap not coming into play. Yeah, the Stasis Traps are a little bit too far back. And we don't kite back to them. Ooh. There we go. Lings are caught. We're getting on top of the army. Aggressive Link. We get on top of the Ravagers. Yeah, the Ravagers, they go down one after the other. And it looks like Trap, he has barely done it. Boys are being pulled. Ravagers go down. We keep on reinforcing. Overlords do tank some of the shots. It's still so close. Still so very close. But especially with the reinforcements on the way, it looks like Trap is getting on top of the main army. And he's already broken the back here of Reynor. Queens are going down one after the other. No more transfuse. Boys being pulled once again. But Trap, he has Zealous to tank some shots, and yeah, he's done it. Trap, he has done it. The Queens, they fall one after the other. Roaches, they're barely holding on as well. Reynor caught a little bit with his pants down here, and GG gets called. Trap will take the series 2-1, eliminating Reynor from the tournament. GG. GG. Reynor had some very nice Ling movement, trying to catch those Warpins, trying to catch the reinforcements. Emphasis on trying, as he was not able to. Trap was real quick to pull back, to get back to that location, to save them, of course. Had the Stasis Traps, which one of them did come into play, did catch a lot of Lings, did help support the main army, and more importantly, when he saw the opportunity, he went for it. I'm referring to the moment where he dove on the Ravagers. He focused them all down. The Ravagers were the backbone of Reynor's army. They were helping him, they were helping just fend back the army and keep him in this. Once they went down, that was the beginning of the end there for Reynor. His Trap did snowball out of control with that 3 base all in. GG. GG, well played. Trap, he does it again. For those that are curious, again, Trap, he only recently coming back to competitive play, and he does threaten some of these big names, some of these big players. He does threaten them. And with that, Trap advances on into the next round, and we have our next series. We're going to be following Trap into the round of 16. Let's go. we will follow him and figure out where we're headed. Just need a moment to set things up.